Dolphins fans, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Miami Dolphins Today. It's your one-stop shop for everything Miami Dolphins ahead of Week 1 against the New England Patriots up in Foxborough. Tua Tagovailoa has been showing out in the preseason. We'll give you all the latest when it comes to the franchise quarterback of the Miami Dolphins and more. Just be sure to hit that big red subscribe button and, hey, maybe even hit that notification as well to stay in the know on your Miami Dolphins. Welcome into Miami Dolphins Today. I am your host, RC Maxfield, and we have an update on Will Fuller, one of the prized offseason additions to the Miami Dolphins offense. And Fuller, he will be out Week 1. We know that just because of the PED suspension that he got last season, but he has missed a lot of camp due to a lower body injury that really hasn't been disclosed a whole bunch. But according to the Miami Herald, Fuller will reportedly be available to play in Week 2, which was good. There was a report also coming out that he might even practice leading into preseason Week 3 against the Cincinnati Bengals. But looking at what Fuller is capable of to add to this offense, he's just absolutely explosive. Looking at these stats from last season before he got hit with that PED suspension, he had 53 catches, 879 yards, well on his way to his first 1,000-yard season. He did have a long reception of 77 yards and 8 touchdowns. Of course, that was with Deshaun Watson. But at the time right now, you look at it, Tua has a lot of options when it comes to this depth chart, right? Devontae Parker was back at practice right before preseason Week 2. Will Fuller, in that updated photo, loving the hairdo, Will, by the way, is a wide receiver 2. And then you have Albert Wilson at wide receiver 3 to go along with Jalen Waddle. Hey, he's no longer in that suit at Alabama. He's actually got that updated photo with the Dolphins. But back to Will Fuller. Fuller is one of those guys where I truly believe he can just absolutely add a new look to this offense. You think about what Tua Tagovailoa is very good at. We saw it on Saturday. He's good at that intermediate, mid-range in terms of throws, maybe even throwing out of the backfield to Myles Gaskin. But Will Fuller adds that deep threat element, and he is one of the best deep ball catchers in the NFL right now. You look at what he did down in Houston with Deshaun Watson, it's absolutely explosive, right? 77 yards on his long reception, and he had 879 yards in just 10 games last season. Absolutely explosive, and he is known as one of those guys that can take the top off the defense, and really, I don't know if there's anybody on this Miami Dolphins roster that can compete with that in terms of what he brings on the explosiveness side of things, right? You think about Jalen Waddle. He's more that underneath guy that, sure, if he gets one cut, he can take it to the house. Myles Gaskin is the same way. Mike Gesicki has proven that, well, he can go down the field too, but really, Will Fuller on this offense just opens up a brand new dimension to it, and we've seen Tua Tagovailoa have those opportunities in the preseason to go deep, specifically to Mike Gesicki, but right now getting Will Fuller back potentially in Week 2 would go a long way in terms of ensuring this offense has a new dimension to it going into 2021. But hey, you tell me, will Will Fuller get 875 yards receiving this season in 2021? Type O for over, type U for under. Now, producer Sam, he's an OU guy, so it feels a little weird saying O and U right here, but let me know down in the comments if you have over or under 875 receiving yards for Fuller in 2021. If he's healthy, I think this is a clear over, but we've seen in Will Fuller's career, he's missed 27 games in 5 years. Health is not a given for the star wide receiver. Got to shout out today's sponsor of the video. Of course, that's BetUS. They have the best deposit bonus in the game right now. What do I mean? Go over to chatsports.com. Use the promo code Dolphins125. And let's just say you put $100 into your account right now. They will match it and then some, giving you $125 to play with on the site for your total to be $225. I was telling this to my girlfriend's dad yesterday, and he was like, this has got to be a lie, right? I was like, no, it's legit. I'm still using the same account I used last year and had the same deposit bonus. It is absolutely the best deposit bonus in the game right now. Don't even go look anywhere else on the internet, because I promise you won't find anything better. Again, go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code Dolphins125 to get a 125% deposit bonus on your first account. Let's move on to some odds about the Dolphins, right, that you can have over on BetUS. These are some of my favorites right now in terms of wins and where the Dolphins could go in terms of their long season success. Now, favorite one right now is win the AFC East. Yes, I know that the Bills are there and Josh Allen just got a Brinks truck of money, right? $150 million guaranteed, but you can put $10 down and win 30 if the Dolphins win the AFC East. That's what I'm going for right now, and also under 9 wins. I don't know who's making the odds at BetUS, but I promise you, it's not me. Take the over, absolutely. But again, chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code Dolphins125 to get a deposit bonus of 125% on your first deposit. Bleacher Report had an interesting article, to say the least, about potential trades that each NFL team should make. And the Dolphins, they had one with a safety involved. Taylor Rapp, had going from the West Coast to the East Coast. And at the safety position, I thought it was interesting in the sheer fact that Rapp is entering his 3rd season with the Rams. He started 15 games in his first 2 seasons, off and on, more of a depth piece, but that Rams defense is absolutely legit, and Dolphins fans, we know something about being and having a legit defense as probably the best CB duo in the game right now. But Bleacher Report's trade idea was this: Taylor Rapp for a 2022 third-round pick, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's no way in hell the Dolphins would do this. Like, why would you do this? You just spent a second-round pick on a guy who we also updated his photo, shout out, on this one on the depth chart. You have Holland. Why would you go out and get a guy in Taylor Rapp to even bring in as competition for a guy in Holland who you spent a second-round pick on? It makes little to no sense to me, in the sense that you want Holland to succeed. You want him to have ample opportunities. Why would you put another roadblock in the way? So I couldn't disagree more with this Bleacher Report article, in the sheer fact that I think Holland is better than Rapp anyway. I think that what he's proven in camp, again, he hasn't been able to play in the regular season, obviously being a rookie, but overall, Rapp is just a depth guy. I think Holland can be an absolute star at the safety position for the Dolphins moving forward. But hey, let me know. Should the Dolphins trade for Rapp? You know my thoughts. I want to hear yours. Type Y for yes or N for no. I think this is absolutely a no. I mean, this trade just, again, it doesn't make any sense when you think about the draft capital already spent on a young safety that proved himself in a Power 5 conference out in Eugene, Oregon, in Holland. I think this is a guy in Holland that could play right away if you need him to. Obviously, McCourty has taken a couple of reps at the free safety position as well, and Holland is versatile. But really, overall, just bringing in another guy to compete with a rookie that's already showed promise in camp, it makes little to no sense to me in terms of executing this trade. And again, he didn't play last year in 2020 to Holland, but overall, I think he's a guy that can come in, have an instant impact, and really be one of those guys that takes, much like Will Fuller will, the offense. I think Holland can take that secondary to another level, considering the guys you have back there. He can play that center field type role, if you want to go the baseball route, with Howard and Jones on the outsides. And then you have Eric Rowe, who's been everywhere in the preseason. To me, trading for Taylor Rapp would just be an absolute mistake. And his stats, they're solid in 5 games that he played last year in terms of started, right? He had 44 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 3 pass breakups. But overall, he's a depth piece. That's what he is. The Rams know it. The Dolphins know it. So I don't understand why the Dolphins would go along with this Bleacher Report trade idea. It makes little to no sense to me in terms of actually going in and trading for a guy that, when it's all said and done, would just be a bench piece and maybe a depth piece here and there all season long. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Miami Dolphins today. We're giving you free Miami Dolphins content, and this is the best place to get that on YouTube right now. All you have to do is hit that big red button to subscribe to Miami Dolphins today. Producer Sam flashing that down below. That's all you got to do. Hit that link. Go in, subscribe. We're giving you free Dolphins content daily on the channel. And hey, they've even told me if we step our subscriber game up, we might even get to do some maybe some live streams of the game right here. I'm just saying, try to help a brother out. All you have to do is hit that sub button, and maybe we'll get to do that later on in the season. X marks the spot. Indeed, we talked about this earlier in terms of Xavien Howard. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and, well, his colleagues agree, as Howard came in at number 17 on the NFL's annual top 100 player list. He led the NFL, as we all know, in interceptions as well as pass breakups last year. But weirdly enough, Howard wasn't on the top 100 list last year. Now, a lot of that can be attributed to injuries and everything like that, but he took a substantial leap in 2020 and got paid for it too in the restructuring of his contract not too long ago. But we're going to run through some of the guys that were in front of him from 11 to 15, and 1 through 10, not out yet, so this is why we're doing 11 to 20 here. Stephon Diggs comes in at 11, Russell Wilson at 12, and you see the dreaded Jalen Ramsey. He is the only cornerback listed ahead of Xavien Howard on this top 100 list. So according to his peers, Xavien Howard is the second best corner in the NFL. Interesting to me. We'll talk about it a little bit more here in just a second. Alvin Kamara comes in at 14. Tyreek Hill at 15. Now we get into the section where Xavien Howard is listed. Myles Garrett just ahead of him. He's sandwiched in between Deshaun Watson as well, with Budda Baker coming in at 19 and Dalvin Cook at 20. For me, when you look at where Xavien Howard is listed on there, I think it's about right, but looking at his stats, he should be higher, right? If we're just strictly going off of what he did in 2020, he had a historic type season, 55 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 20 pass breakups, and 10 interceptions. Again, he led the National Football League in pass breakups and interceptions, He's one of the elite corners in the NFL. He got paid like it. Moving into his next season as that guy opposite of Byron Jones, right? He's going to perform at that high level, I think, at a continuous basis, in the sense that yes, he's going to get targeted a little bit, but so is Byron Jones. So some of these stats are going to even out in terms of what they bring to the table. But overall, Xavien Howard is an absolutely elite corner. We all know that. It's just interesting to see that disparity in terms of Jalen Ramsey and him. You have Jalen Ramsey, as you see on your screen right now, at 13. Then you have Xavien Howard at 17. I would probably have it a little closer. I do think Jalen Ramsey is obviously in that discussion to be the number 1 corner in the NFL, but if we're just strictly basing this off of last season, which supposedly this list is about, obviously that's not, Xavien Howard should be higher than him. Again, you lead the NFL in interceptions and pass breakups. You need to be a top 10 player, but I get it. There's some rationale behind it. But 17 is not bad at all for the corner out of Baylor. I absolutely love Xavien Howard and Byron Jones on the outside, and I think Xavien Howard could get better. Maybe those stats decrease a little bit, but I think that's because defenses are not going to want to target him after the season he had in 2020. But I'm curious, should Howard be higher on the top 100 list? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I'm going to go yes, but just a little bit. I think he should be a little higher. I think he should definitely be top 15, after that really historic season he had at the cornerback position. You think about it, 20 pass breakups, 10 interceptions. I think he should be in the top 15, but 17 is in the shade right there. But Jalen Ramsey comes in at the number 1 corner, as Xavien Howard comes in as the number 2 corner according to his peers in the NFL top 100 list.